So can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Yeah, right now I have settlement plates which are something like this, just basically fake grass that I've set out at the shelf edge here in La Brea, Puerto Rico. And I leave these out for about a month. At the end of the month I collect them, replace them, and bring them back into the lab. I then analyze each plate and pick out the Diadema settlers, which can be from 0.4 millimeters to about a millimeter in size, their bodies, so they're very small. I then place them in...
Let me see the actual turf. Or the settlement plate. It's high tech.
It's very high tech. So these are basically attached to a mooring line in the water column. So Diadema have a plankton stage where after they release their eggs and sperm, and after the egg is fertilized, they go through this planktonic stage where they're in the water column kind of floating around for about, some researchers say about a month. They don't truly know. And so when they're ready to settle, there are certain cues on the reefs that signal that this is the place to settle. So what they do for these plates is that they come and they say, they check this out, and they're like, we want to settle here. So
they attach there?
They attach here, and a lot of times you find them in the small little bristle parts because there are also other things that are settling, like crabs, shrimp, and worms that could actually be possible predators for these small little sea urchins. So if they survive this stage, at the end of the month, after analyzing the plates, I then collect all the settlers and I place them in tanks. And this is the final grow out stage right now. We have about 50 growing out. You can see the largest one is back there, and he's larger than 4 centimeters. And this guy was collected actually in August, so he's been growing there for a couple months now. So we're hoping
So when these, all these sea urchins were brought here, they were smaller than a centimeter?
Yeah, they were very small. They were probably less than a millimeter.
Oh wow. So what do you feed these?
So every couple of days I collect algae from the mangroves. They like Laurencia and also Stachypodium and Diadema.
Okay.
And I just place them, and right away they start eating. You could see a couple eating some of the brown algae here.
Let me see if I can zoom in.
Right there that are eating.
So eventually these will go to the reef?
So we're hoping by next month we can place these on a reef in cages, wide cages to help them adapt to the reef and also limit predation by fish. So it kind of gives them a heads up of what life is going to be like on a reef. And then at the end of the month we will remove the cages, and hopefully these little guys have adapted to the reef and find their own little crevice that they can live in.
And start doing their ecosystem function?
Yes, which is eating algae.
I think they're like cows of the reef.
They are cows of the reef.
Except they don't produce milk.
No, they don't produce. They produce fecal pellets that look like sand and algae. So.
Thank you, Stacey.